All right, let's talk about your weekly grocery run. We're going to pull back the curtain and really dig into the hidden tricks, the psychology, and the surprising business model that's designed to make you spend more money every single time.
So let me ask you something. What business do you think a grocery store is in? The obvious answer is, well, they sell food, right? Produce, snacks, all that stuff. But what if I told you that's not actually where they make most of their money?
Yeah, it's true. The real business they're in is what dictates absolutely everything. The layout of the store, the music playing, even the smells they pump into the air. It's a business that treats every single shelf like it's a tiny piece of prime real estate.
Okay, let's get right into it. To really get what's going on, you've got to stop thinking of a grocery store as a place that sells food and start thinking of it as a massive, massive landlord. Their most valuable asset isn't the apples or the cereal, it's the shelf space itself.
And it all comes down to something called a slotting fee. This is kind of the industry's big secret. Brands, we're talking the biggest names you can think of, have to pay insane amounts of money just for the privilege of putting their products in front of you. They are literally paying rent for a spot on the shelf. And the scale of this is it's staggering. Get this, somewhere between 50 and 75% of a big grocery store's profit doesn't come from the tiny markup on the food they sell. Nope, it comes directly from these fees that the food companies are paying them.
So how much rent are we talking about? Well, for just one product, to get a really good spot in a national chain, a brand could pay anywhere from 10 grand all the way up to $1 million. $1 million for one product for 1 year.
And where's the most expensive real estate in the whole store? You know it. It's right there at your eye level. The industry has a name for it. They call it the golden zone. It's the first place our eyes naturally drift, and brands will pay almost anything to live there. And the data? Well, the data shows just how powerful it is. A product in that golden zone can sell up to 8 times more than the exact same product just a few feet lower on another shelf. It's not about which product is better, it's just about which one is seen.
Okay, so once you realize that stores are basically just real estate agents, the whole design of the place starts to make a creepy kind of sense. It's not a store, it's a psychological maze, and it's built to keep you inside and exposed to all that pricey shelf space for as long as possible. I mean, from the moment you walk in, the game is on. Ever notice how most stores make you go counterclockwise? That's because most of us are right-handed, so it's easier to grab things from the shelves. There are no clocks, no windows, so you completely lose track of time. They pump in fake smells like baking bread to make you hungry. The music is always slow to make you slow down, and the essentials, milk, eggs, they're always at the very back of the store, so you have to walk past thousands of other paid advertisements just to get them.
All right, but what about those deals? The big discounts. Everybody loves a good sale. But here's the thing. A lot of them aren't really what they look like. They're just another kind of paid ad, but this one's disguised to look like you're saving money.
So picture this. You see this giant, bright sign at the end of an aisle. 50% off Oreos. Awesome, right? It grabs your attention, you head down there, totally ready to score a deal on a brand you love.
But then you get there and, the deal isn't actually on the Oreos. It's on some copycat brand, with packaging that looks almost exactly the same, sitting right next to them. It's a classic bait and switch. And you can bet that copycat brand paid a ton for that sign in that spot. And the store? They can make up to a 90% commission on that stuff.
And what about buy one, get one free? That has to be a good deal, right? Well, a lot of the time, the products you see in those BOGO deals are made specifically for that sale. If you actually check the weight on the package, you'll often find the free one has less stuff in it than the regular one. So the deal isn't nearly as sweet as it sounds.
So you survived the maze, you've seen through the tricky deals, and you finally make it to the checkout. You're almost home free. But I gotta tell you, the final boss battle is just getting started.
This tiny little area, just the checkout lanes, accounts for a mind-blowing 16% of all the sales in the entire store. It is by far the most valuable and profitable piece of real estate they have. And check out this wild statistic. For every single second you are forced to wait in that line, the chance that you'll make an impulse purchase goes up by 38%. They know the longer you wait, the weaker your willpower gets. It's a trap.
And boy, do they know exactly what to put there to tempt you. All the high-profit impulse buys, candy, soda, magazines. But they get clever, too. You'll often see things like expensive condoms right at the register. Why? Because they're banking on the fact that some people are too shy to walk all the way down the pharmacy aisle to pick them out.
So look,
The whole system is pretty much designed to work against you, to tap into your psychology and get you to spend more. But, and this is the good part, now that you know the rules of their game, you can start playing your own.
Here are 5 simple rules to take back control. Number 1, and this is the big one, always shop with a list, and stick to it. 2, never, ever shop when you're hungry or tired. That's when your willpower is at 0. 3, try to stick to the perimeter of the store. That's where all the fresh, whole foods usually are. 4, when you see a big sale, be a detective. Check the price per gram or milliliter and see if it's actually a deal. And finally, number 5, and this one is huge. Remember, it is so much easier to say no to that bag of chips one time in the store than it is to say no every single day when it's sitting in your pantry at home.
Look, the grocery store has a game plan for your wallet. It's been tested, and it works. So the only question left is, what's your game plan? Thanks for watching.